First thing in the morning, you see your mark. It's an easy shot, but can you do it? Yes, you hit it. First shot. Feel really good about it. Now, how about flipping the rope? Can I get? Yes, I got it. Oh, a couple, 2 or 3 times. Every time it goes, oh, it just feels so good. It would have only been better if I'd have got it to come down on this side of that big limb. That's all right, though. I can do a fairly easy toss back over, and I'll have my rope set. This sound familiar? Oh, look at that. Everything goes so smooth. Didn't screw up in the least bit. Man, a day like this is just like, everything is going to go right. Got your rope set. It's a good day. I'm gonna have fun in this tree. I know it. It's just going to be just a real beautiful tree to climb. Everything's going to go just perfect. Or is it? All right, truth be known, I didn't do so good. I actually hit it on the 3rd shot. But my flips, they didn't go so good either. Even the toss over, I screwed up. All in all, I was up in the tree in about 10 minutes. I'm getting an opportunity to work on my favorite tree. It's one of my favorite species to work on, which is the Quercus agrifolia, the coast live oak. But this individual tree is a tree that I've been working on for 40 years. It's hard to see here, but the trunk on this tree is, it's probably 36, 38 inches in diameter. And when I first started working on this tree 40 years ago, it was only about 18 inches in diameter. The tree has had very little taken out of it over the years. There's a few wounds that we had to make because the branches were hanging down too low. There's an old one right there. I can't even remember taking that cut. There's a few other moderate cuts up here. I tried really hard not to take anything too big. I do remember that branch right there broke. And this one over here and this one over here had to be taken off. So there was a lot of weight down low. But if you look through the rest of the tree, I can see 1, 2, 3 5-inch wounds on the tree. And if you look everywhere else, it's almost entirely devoid of big limbs, big wounds. There's one small dead branch right there we're going to take off today. I do want to do a little bit of weight reduction overall on some of the heavy limbs, and I want to do that in kind of a drop crotch method where I'll just take off a section, not chopping it back from the ends. This branch right here seems to be straightening out pretty far, as is this one. This one here is extending out way over the neighbor's property. Sometimes when you get branches going over a neighbor's property, it's better to get up there and make the cuts before the neighbors get along and do whatever they want to do. Beautiful tree. I love working in it. I have a personal attachment to this tree because I've been working on it almost every year for such a long time. And in all honesty, there's been a lot of times I've come out here and said, just leave it alone, it's fine. There is a little bit of weeping going on right here. I'm not sure what that's all about. It's kind of interesting. There's a possibility that this whole limb may have been twisting and rotating, and maybe there's a crack and that's some of the weeping. Or it's a possibility that it may have a little bit of Phytophthora in there. But that started about 5 or 6 years ago, and you can see it's running all the way down the trunk here. It doesn't seem to be too bad right now. But the thing about a big tree like this is, when you're making the decisions about what to do and which cuts that you want to make, it's really important to follow the limbs all the way back. And what you want to pay attention to are, good crotch unions. Nice wide crotch unions. If they're too tight, then there are problems. I don't see anything going on up and through here. Nice wide crotch unions all the way around. Upper canopy is in good shape. I do see No, I thought that might have been tussock moth. It's not. This is going to be fun. But I'm not going to do a whole lot on this tree. This limb that goes way out here has me a little bit concerned because it is pretty straight out and it's hanging way over the neighbor's property. I'll show you when we're all done. It won't be a whole lot different than what you see right now, though. Oh boy, I had a close one today. I was down to the wire. I'm not talking about a tree job, I'm talking about my certification. Hopefully a lot of you guys that watch this channel are certified, or at the very least you want to become certified. I'm talking about being a certified arborist. And one of the stipulations of being a certified arborist is that you have to maintain your continuing education credits, and they call it units, CEUs. So what's required is every 3 years you've got to turn in at least 30 CEUs, then it starts all over again. Well, this actually celebrates my 30th year as a certified arborist, and I can say that I'm very, very proud that I've been certified as long as I have. This is my 47th year in business, but I was certified in 1990. So let me tell you a little bit about the story. Part of it has to do with COVID and the difficulty of getting the continuing education units, CEUs, because in the past I would just attend a conference. It'd be an all-day conference and I'd get 5 or 6, I'd do 2 or 3 of those a year, and in 3 years time I always had, I usually had 40 or 50, but this year it came right down to the wire and I had to ask for an extension. They gave me an extension all the way up to October 28th, which is right around the corner. So I've been going online and watching online seminars, but the online seminars, usually they only give you 1 credit. And I got all the way down to 29 3/4 CEUs. I needed 1/4. So I was able to take 1 more class, and I was afraid that it wouldn't get in, so I contacted the ISA and pushed it through. And I gotta say, thankfully today I paid my dues and I'm officially recertified, celebrating 30 years as a certified arborist. So what does it mean to me to be a certified arborist? It's more than a career for me. It's what I chose as, maybe it's kind of my identity. It's who I am. And I have to say that I chose this career not because I saw it as a good pathway for making a lot of money. I saw it as a choice for how I can be physically active outdoors, but more importantly, I really wanted to learn how to take care of trees. So over the course of my career, certainly I've taken down lots and lots of trees, and that kind of goes against the grain of taking care of trees, but in most cases they were trees that had to go because they were either dangerous or in the wrong place or the wrong species, or one reason or another. But there were a number of trees that we removed that were not really justified. And I got to say that in the long run, those trees that we removed for no reason than the people didn't like them, it kind of bothered me. So lately I've been doing a lot of soul searching. I've been really stopping and taking a lot of walks in the forest and seeing the life around me. When I come out to the forest and I see this entire network, this entire unification of trees out here. This is on my property. And what I see is a biodiversity of so many different species that are working together. And because each of these species is part of the whole network. You know, it takes every one of them working as a unit to make this forest function. I mean, from food production for the animals to the underground network of fungus and the mycorrhizae, the roots of the fungus that spread out and connect to the roots of the other trees. And the more that I learn, the more I realize how little I know. It truly astounds me when I learn something brand new about trees that I never really fathomed, never really guessed before. And to me, that is remarkable. You know, I watched a TED Talk the other day. There was a scientist up in British Columbia, and she talks about the connectivity of the mycorrhizae and how trees talk to each other. And I can see it now. A lot of guys are going, oh yeah, here we go, tree hugger talking trees. They communicate. They really do communicate. And we humans are so naive in what we think and what we know about life around us. I mean, for God's sakes, we've destroyed so much of our world, and we're continuing to do so. We need to slow down and see the subtle intricacies of what makes it all work. What makes the forest function as a whole? You know, not units of lumber, but how important is it to have this whole biodiversity of all the different species, from the animals to the plants to the ground, the soil, the fungus? Everything about it is so critically important. We got to slow down. We really have to stop and think things over. You know, there's a big diversity in people conflict in this world right now, especially here in the States. And I understand it. Everybody has to make a living, and there's this big conflict of, you know, the conservatives and the liberals. And I don't want to get into politics. I made that mistake in a recent video. By the way, I want to apologize for that video. I should not have put that up. But, you know, we've got to come together and start seeing the intrinsic value of the forests as a whole, rather than what we can make off of the forest, what we can do with the forest. You know, we can't stop logging. We need lumber, but we need to know when we push it too far, when we destroy the forest habitat, when we create situations that make things worse in the long run. I mean, I can go on and talk about you know, global warming and, you know, how we're losing so much of the oxygen producing and the carbon sequestering, and, you know, but unless you pay attention to that and you listen to the science, you're really naive, and you're not going to make any improvements. You're not going to make any adjustments that we all need. And I'm not saying you as an individual, I'm talking about you as a unified group of people. And it's the whole world. You know, YouTube is pretty amazing that, you know, I can put out a video now and I get comments from Denmark and England and Germany and Italy and all over the world. And it's a medium that is a way of expressing my feelings, but also a teaching tool. So much of YouTube is all about silly stuff and comical stuff, but we need to value the ability to learn from this remarkable new tool that we have at our disposal. You know, videos, they're amazing. So I know I'm kind of rambling here. This whole thing started off with, you know, talking about my certification, and I do want to encourage any of you young arborists or aspiring arborists to persevere. It's a good career. It's a great career. And there's so much more value that I have gotten out of it as an arborist. I mean, I'm almost 67 years old and I still climb trees for a living.